Wednesday, March 25th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Meteorologist Matthew East here along with you. Let's start off with a look at the Greensboro tower camera this morning. And some clouds have developed in across the region. Now, at the point I'm cutting this video, there has really not been any showers make it into the region yet. So some of the short-term modeling that was indicating that shower development overnight last night, that is not really verified as of yet. And I tell you, it is a challenging high temperature forecast for today. More on that in just a second. Temperatures currently, 5 o'clock hour, 43 in Greenville, 61 though in Columbia, 62 in Charleston, 55 in Charlotte, 45 in Boone. Had a nice warm day yesterday, really a very nice day across the region, 60s and 70s out there for most of our highs. Now, here's the setup today. I have a cold front slowly working our way. New area of low pressure forming near northern Texas and Oklahoma. And we have somewhat of a wedge scenario in play here. Bit of a northeasterly flow in place across the region. That is one of the factors that really makes today's temperature forecast so tricky. And again, I'll talk about that in more detail in just a second. Radar still pretty quiet across most of the region locally. Now, had a pretty good round of severe weather yesterday for the Plain States. What's left of that is some rain over parts of Indiana, Ohio, parts of Michigan, and then it eventually toward the UP of Michigan and Wisconsin turns into a nice little shot of some snow up that way. And here's the storm reports from yesterday. A lot of hail reports, and some of the hail was quite large yesterday there in the Ozarks region. And again today, pretty significant severe weather outlook. Here's your day one severe weather outlook. That is an enhanced severe weather risk. And again, these are these new SPC severe weather risk categories, a little different than years past. Your slight risk runs from northeast Texas to the Ozarks. Inside that slight risk area, you have that enhanced area of severe threat. And so here's what it looks like on Futurecast. You notice as we get toward this late afternoon and especially into the evening, pretty big thunderstorms firing up there in that risk area that then kind of begin to translate slowly eastward. Now, close to home today, boy, it's a challenging forecast. There is as much as a 20-degree spread between the various model guidance for highs today. Some of the cooler guidance is low 50s. Some of the warmer guidance is in the low 70s across the Piedmont zones. I think a lot of clouds and scattered showers out there at times today, and probably those shower chances actually ramping up a bit tonight. And this is what we'll go with for highs here across the Piedmont zones. Again, this is there's a lot of bust potential with these high temperatures today, but that's the going idea at the moment. Now we get on out to tomorrow. It will be a much warmer day, and really overall, it's not looking like too bad of a day. I think some scattered showers a possibility, but you notice the deck of clouds kind of eroding as we get into the afternoon. This is a scenario where it actually looks like a lot of the rain with this front will occur behind the front, so probably tomorrow night, increasing rain chances. But ahead of this front tomorrow, look at these highs, really warm across the region. Now, could be a few thunderstorms rumbling around tomorrow and tomorrow evening, and it is a general thunderstorm outlook for tomorrow. No severe weather outlook areas here across the region. Then we get out to Friday. Cooler air taking hold. The clouds linger. Could certainly be some rain for at least a portion of the day Friday. And that cooler weather beginning to settle in. Your highs Friday shape up like that in the 50s for a lot of the Piedmont zones. And then we get into the weekend, and really no changes to my thinking here. A dry, pretty good looking, but chilly weekend. High pressure building on into the region, and that high is directly overhead by Sunday morning. So Sunday morning, probably the coldest morning. There's the GFS representation of temperatures around daybreak Sunday. The European model, and the GFS is even a bit colder. And I'll show you that on the high resolution modeling here in just a moment. But certainly looks like a good chance for a freeze. Some folks maybe will like freeze Saturday morning, but certainly Sunday morning looking like a likely freeze for much of the region. And there's your average day to last freeze. You know, just for places like Charlotte, Greensboro, and Raleigh, April 1st, April 11th is your date of the average, your average date of the last freeze. So we're certainly still ahead of that overall speaking wise, and I think overall certainly the chance is there, and a pretty good chance of a freeze for many of us by Sunday morning. Alright, so continuing on here, again here's a more detailed look at the convective outlook for today, and there's your categorical risk areas. There's the probability of tornadic activity today. And then wind probabilities, really the most significant severe weather risk today back in that enhanced area is hail. Could be some, again, very sizable hail reports again today. But then you notice tomorrow, again, just a general thunderstorm outlook covering the area ahead of that advancing front. So here's what it looks like on the higher resolution modeling. This is the GFS representation of things this afternoon. Broader perspective, you see a bit of this wedging scenario from this high pressure that's heading further offshore taking place. And so again, you end up with a scenario where you have clouds and some scattered showers out there. And there's a big time spread amongst the various models for highs today. This is the GFS representation, keeping things in the low to mid 50s across the triad, low 60s around Charlotte. And then you get down to 70s and 80s in southern Georgia and northern Florida. And again, there's some short-term guidance, the higher resolution modeling, in some instances pushing even places like Greensboro into the upper 60s and into the 70s today. So there's a big-time spread in those model temperatures for today. Here we go tomorrow. All right, so here's your cold front. This is early in the afternoon tomorrow. Cold front right there. Ahead of it, some scattered showers, but then you notice things really kind of drying out in the afternoon. Most of the precipitation lagging behind the actual front. So really tomorrow afternoon could wind up looking pretty good. Pretty good southerly flow still in place tomorrow afternoon into the early evening hours, and so that means it's a warm day for sure. There's your model temperatures, 70s, even maybe all the way up into Maryland tomorrow afternoon. But here we go tomorrow night into Friday morning. That's when we probably actually have our best chance of rain with this front. We'll be behind the front tomorrow night and into Friday morning. By that point in time, winds out of the northwest around daybreak Friday, bringing in cooler air. And then this is the precipitation through the morning into early afternoon Friday. And then there's the afternoon precipitation Friday. And you can see, generally speaking, that precipitation slowly working out of the region. And then by Saturday morning, pretty chilly across the region. I wouldn't pay a lot of attention to these snowflakes you see depicted there. That's, I don't think terribly likely to occur. But here's the GFS model temperatures by daybreak Saturday, and it has a light freeze in many spots, I-85 and north and west by Saturday morning. European is a little bit warmer for Saturday morning, but really odds are strongly favoring a freeze Sunday morning in many spots. Saturday afternoon, again, I think these precipitation contours you see here a bit overdone. I'll go with a partly cloudy Saturday sky and dry conditions across the region. Full sunshine for Sunday, and here we go Sunday morning. That high pressure building directly overhead, and so Sunday morning will be the coldest morning. There's your model temperatures off the GFS for Sunday morning. Teens in the mountains. You have mid-20s in Charlotte and Greensboro over toward Raleigh there on Sunday morning. So it looks like a good hard freeze on the way. I always strongly recommend, if you're going to put some plants that are sensitive to freezes in the ground, you wait till after Easter, as you almost always have these freezes. And this is nothing abnormal again. We're not even to our average date of last freeze here across the region. Getting out to Sunday looks good after that cold start to the day. Highs rebounding well into the 50s in many spots Sunday afternoon. Now, this is the European presentation of Friday evening. Again, it brings one last little light bit of precipitation through, but then the weekend looks good. Getting out to next week, the European brings some rain in on Monday. It's kind of alone in that solution. You don't have that occurring on the GFS or the Canadian, so maybe some clouds Monday, but I have not gone with the idea of any precip in Monday's forecast. You see the GFS is dry for Monday. And then eventually later on in the week, this is all the way out to late Wednesday, you see the next system beginning to slowly march in our direction. Okay, that is it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Everybody have a wonderful day, and God bless.